Hi everyone. I don't know why I always get so happy whenever I get on camera. uh, Hi everyone, this is Krista and welcome to the Feminine Takeoff. Today I'm going to be taking my hot rollers out and then I'm going to, right after it, I'm going to make a video, and that video is going to be on the topics of how to spot fake peace as a feminine being, the feminine way, because I think that as a feminine being, as the more we cultivate our femininity, the more people want a piece of us. And of course, to lure us into them having access to us, they fake peace, because I think that as a feminine being, one of our most important thing that we look out for is our peace, our tranquility, and safety, all of which entails peace. So let's get started. First, I'm going to adjust my camera a little bit. I don't know, I'm so picky, I'm so picky. This is why I'm single. I should stop saying that, because sometimes that's not necessarily true. But anyway, throat is so dry. Please excuse me, I'm gonna go get some water. I'll be right back. I am back. Okay, so do we need some lighting in here? Alexa, allume la lumière. No, we don't. Alexa, éteins la lumière, s'il te plaît. Perfect. Okay, so back to the topic. Again, the topic of my video is going to be how to spot fake peace. And when I say peace, I mean tranquility, or the meaning peace, the word peace, as a feminine being, especially as a feminine being, because again, I think that the more we cultivate our femininity, the more I believe people want a piece of it, because being feminine is a very attractive thing, especially in this day and age when not many people embrace their femininity, or not many women know how to embrace their femininity without especially being performative, or, you know, I hate to use the word, but maybe even a little bit shallow. So I don't think being materialistic is bad, within reason, of course, but I think that oftentimes it's very difficult to draw the line between being materialistic and just being, and in a good way, and there's a difference between being that materialistic in a positive way or in a good way, you would say, as opposed to being materialistic just for the sake of overconsumption, just for the sake of desire, and so on and forth. Let's get started. I need to brush my hair. So let's begin with the video, shall we? All right. Again, the topic of this video is going to be how to spot fake peace the feminine way. So point number one is, I wrote, be quiet and listen, ladies. I wish people have told me this, but I wish I understood the true meaning and discernment in the terms just be quiet and listen early on in my life, you know. But it's okay. Here with the Feminine Takeoff, we don't judge, we give ourselves grace, and once we know better, we do better. We just begin doing better right away. Okay, so now I've known better now, and so I do better now. Okay, I still fall short sometimes, but ultimately just be quiet and listen. I'm sorry, my hair is doing something weird. It's distracting me, so I'm gonna keep playing with it until I'm happy. And who knows when that would be and how many years that would take. Anyway, I think I'm a little content with it. Maybe I should brush it. I don't know, I don't don't think that helped. Maybe I could flat iron it. I just don't want to do so much to it because I'm gonna go to the sauna later, so I don't want to like over process it. I am back, so here's the final result of my hair. So and the topic of the video is how to spot fake peace as a feminine woman, okay, as a feminine being, and how to use discernment and all of your senses to spot fake peace. I made this topic of this video because as I notice, as we are cultivating our femininity is a very attractive thing, and I'm noticing that not every woman in the world, or at least in this era or in this culture of wherever I am, right, are embracing their femininity. So because of that, I want to say that femininity is a very attractive thing. It's a thing that people want a piece of because it's not so prevalent and common. And of course, a masculine man, or just men in general, want femininity, okay? And people in general, even women, a woman will see a feminine woman or a woman who's gentle and soft, and you'll notice that they want to be your friend. They want to be close to you. They want to start conversation with you, because I really would like to think that because femininity is a very attractive thing, all right? So because femininity is a very attractive thing, you're going to attract people who are going to want a piece of you, okay? They're going to desire that piece of your piece. And I would really like to believe that part of being feminine is enjoying peace, embracing it, summoning it, and also wielding it, right? It's kind of like being able to, I don't know, not control it, but to be able to morph it and like embody it, right? And so because of that, I think that because a feminine woman's search is towards peace. Being feminine is to be peaceful, is to seek safety, tranquility. So you cannot really be want peace as a feminine woman if you're not attracted by peace, if peace is not attractive to you, you see. And so because of that, I think that because we're so attractive as feminine being, people will want to use, what would you use to attract something that is peaceful? Bait, more peace, right? So a lot of times I believe that people try to fake their idea of peace to attract feminine women, because a feminine woman's one of our number one desires is safety, peace, and tranquility. Okay, so I wrote a few points here on ways to spot fake peace when someone or something is projecting that in order to pull you in. All right, and this doesn't have to do with dating. This is not like a dating channel. You can use these terms in friendships. You can use these terms in employment, work, right? You want to have peace at work, like what is it called? Work culture, professional culture, the environment you're going to be in when you're at a job interview. Of course, sometimes you would ask, well, what is the culture of working here like? Because you're going to be working there. You're going to be spending a lot of your time at work. So you would want to know the culture, especially as a feminine being. And a job who might want you really badly might want to kind of embellish their culture just so that you as a candidate is like, oh, this sounds great. I want to be a part of that. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. We as humans, we love embellishing things. But it's really important to know the difference between true peace and a facade of peace or an embellishment of peace. So you can use this again at friendships, relationships, whether it's familial, platonic, or romantic, at work, and so on and forth. Okay, so point number one here is be quiet and listen. Okay, I wish that I understood the severity or the magnitude of just being quiet and listening, and not listening to respond, but listening to acquire information from a really young age. I think that would have done me so much good and justice, and even tapped into my peace even more. Okay. Please excuse me. My throat has been so dry lately. It's dry where I live and it's winter time, but I don't know, I just have to keep hydrating. Hydrating. And I started a 4-week fitness journey. My gym invited me to this. So because of that, one of the big thing in that journey is hydration. So I think I have to drink like half in ounces of my body weight, and so I'm just trying to hydrate myself, not over drink, but enough. Okay, so anyway, back to the point number 1 being be quiet and listen. All right, when you are quiet, your other senses come to assist you, to help you. Okay, I learned this when I was really young, about 11 years old, from a blind person. I remember that when I was really little, I think my mom, a family member, knew this person who was blind, and they came to visit one day, and they could hold money, not only coins but even paper money, and they could tell how much it was. And I remember being young and saying, hey, how are you doing this? And they told me that when you are blind, it doesn't mean that your other senses do not exist. They do. Okay, they actually tap in even more. So if you blindfold yourself or close your eyes, of course that's not, what blind people experience. Forgive me if I am speaking out of ignorance here, but from what and remember, they explained this to an 11-year-old, so I'm just relying back on my memory here. All right, this is not what all blind people in the world experience. This is simply something that has been explained to me by a person who happens to be blind to me as a child. So I am again explaining this from as an adult, but from a child point of view. Okay, but anyway, they explained it to me that if you were to blindfold yourself, all of your other senses will kick in. So your sense of smell will heighten a little bit, your hearing will heighten a little bit, and all your touch, all your other senses will heighten a little bit to assist you and to aid you, because obviously your body's like, oh my god, there's an absence of sight. Okay, at least this is how I understood it that back then. So I wrote here, when you're quiet and listening, all of your senses come to help and assist, and also your ears tune in to tone, okay, or sound or vibration. Who was it? I think, was it Beethoven? It might have been Beethoven. He was actually losing his hearing, so he would bite down or get really close to the string of a piano so he can hear the vibrations, and that's how he composed a lot of his music. So your ears aren't just to hear sounds, and actually sound is a sort of vibration. Okay, so when I say vibration, I don't mean vibes like energy, but hey, it could be, right? I just don't want to get too deep scientifically into this video, so but I overthink and I overtalk, so let's get back on point here, Krista. But anyway, so when you're quiet and listening, your ears tune into what you're listening to, the vibration, the fluctuation in whoever's talking to you, in their voice, in their breathing pattern, in the vibration that is coming out of them that you can't even like physically hear or understand, but your body's taking all of that information in. Okay, I also wrote here, your eyes notice movements that you would miss if you were talking or if you were thinking about talking. So just being quiet and listening is not only about being quiet and thinking about what you're going to respond to, but it's also about being quiet and not thinking of response, just processing the information. Think of it as like someone who you don't know is telling you information that you do not know. What do? You're not like saying, oh, let me like try to understand this person and respond to them. You're like, what are they telling me? let me just be still and listen to this information. Your eyes notice movements that you usually wouldn't have noticed if you were speaking or if you were thinking about what to speak about. If you're just still, quiet, in your feminine peace and listening, okay? I notice you even feel the texture in things in a more in-tuned way. Goosebumps, for example. Have you ever spoken to someone and they weren't telling you anything alarming per se, but you felt goosebumps? I'll never forget one day, I was walking. I was in New York at the time. When I was living full-time in New York. I just gotten off of work. I used to work at in retail at that time, and there was a kid, or like a teenager. He came to me and he was asking me a question, and he was saying something to me, but I didn't understand what he was saying, but he was talking. He looked really peaceful, but I just felt a rush of goosebumps on my skin. So I just stopped and I just embraced myself. Like, I just stopped and I had my bag over my shoulder and I just held it, and I had goosebumps and I just froze almost. Do you know that next to me there was a woman who was walking by, and there was a group of other teenagers. I'm not sure if they were affiliated, but a group of other teenagers who just swooshed by this woman who was walking next to me and grabbed her purse and ran away. Okay? I don't know if it was like a sense, I don't know what it was, but when you are interacting with someone, your body is number one, your brain and your body's number one purpose is to keep you safe. Okay, even if you're not in survival, you're designed to keep yourself alive and safe. A healthy person is designed this way. Okay, so again, when you're talking to someone and you randomly feel goosebumps, but they're not telling you something alarming, that's just your body or your brain or your senses saying, hey, something is not right here. But you really can't decipher and understand or even hear or feel that sensation if you're too busy talking. If you're too busy not listening or just being still, you cannot receive those cues at all. When you're quiet and you're listening, your nose would literally smell the BS in the air. Okay, I don't know, maybe I'm being humorous here, but I truly believe it. When you're quiet and still and listening, I really believe that your nose, your senses, especially your nose, you can just smell the BS. You can just be like, you know what, this smells like pure BS and lack of peace. Okay, I also wrote here, your brain thinks more intuitively. You're focusing on the problem or the matter at hand instead of your response or anything else that is distracting. And I'll give you an example. Actually, when I moved to the US, I didn't speak English at all. So this is really hard to explain to people who do not speak other languages, actually, this is very easy. Imagine you are watching Netflix or a TV show, and someone is speaking in a language that you do not understand, but somehow you feel like you're understanding them or you're processing what they're telling you. It's a really weird thing, but it does happen, right? So when I moved to the US, I didn't speak English whatsoever, not even a little bit. One moment, please. Not even a little bit of English. So I really had to use my senses to understand what people were telling me. So if I was speaking to someone, I remember I was like this good African kid going to private school. Like, I was just so shy, so pure. And when we moved here, I had to go to public school, so I remember back then, shut up was probably the worst thing that anyone has ever told me. Okay, but anyway, I remember that some kids will come and they would talk to me. Sometimes they would try to make fun of me, but I just didn't understand them to know what they were telling me. So what I did was I really relied on my other cues, like seeing how their mouth is moving, seeing if I know this is gonna sound weird, but even seeing if they were sweating a little bit. When the boys would come to talk to me and they would be stuttering, like, hi, are you the new girl? Like, I didn't know what they were saying, but they looked nervous, and you know, they would smile or give me a pencil or give me something. So I would think, oh, they're welcoming me, you know, they're being, you know, boy, like they're like cute, you know, they're like maybe a little bit interested in me, you see. So I just really had to rely on certain visual cues in order to understand certain things. So and that was the easiest way that I could even avoid when someone was like, you know, embodying drama or like a fight or something. I didn't speak English to know that they were being hostile, but I just observed the situation, you see. So anyway, what I wanted to say before I wrapped up point number 1, forgive me for rambling, is peace doesn't come on one end and leaves your other senses clueless and confused, okay? So this is how you would know that someone is faking peace, is if they come to you and they're saying something positive with their words, for example, like, hi, I think that you're really beautiful, or I think that you're a really kind friend, I think that you're really smart, so we should be friends, you should come here with me, or whatever. But their facial movements, like they're like maybe even rolling their eyes a little bit when they think that you're not looking, or they're like twitching a wrong way, or just doing something that doesn't make sense to your other senses. So they're saying one thing, but your other senses, your other senses are not like correlating a linear position of what they're saying. So your other senses are like, oh my god, danger, oh my god, this is so odd, but what they're saying doesn't sound alarming. That's not peaceful. Peace doesn't leave you confused, especially your other senses confused. Or someone can just say, oh my god, forgive me, I think that you're a very good person, I'm sorry I was really mean to you, and then they push you. So then you're like, oh my god, did they mean it? They were just telling me nice things, why are they abusing me now? You know, your peace wouldn't leave your senses confused, okay? And point number 2 is, I rambled on way too much, so I'm gonna just try to not speed up, but to keep up a good pace in this topic really quick. So point number 2 is, experience or remember chaos in some way, shape, or form, so that you can understand what chaos is and the lack of it, which is peace, is, okay? If you understand the contrast between the two, you can sense them in a little bit easier way. This is unfortunate, but I grew up somewhat in a very unstable home, okay? My mother had mental illness. I don't think I've ever talked about this in any of my videos. I don't want to get too deep into it, but I grew up feeling really, she was a great mother. She did everything she could to be an amazing person. But I did grow up feeling scared often, scared of her reaction. I also grew up as a refugee, as an asylee in a country where I was born. So I grew up really uncertain. And then when I moved to the US, this is a new country, this is a new place for me. So I've always experienced not understanding, or maybe chaos, but not in only like in a way where like my mother is screaming, but chaos in a way of uncertainty, okay? I grew up really in an uncertain matter, and it wasn't always necessarily peaceful. Even if there was nothing wrong, you could feel it in the air. Whether the family was having money problems or something, you could always feel the chaos in the air, okay? So because of that, when someone is faking peace, I can sense it, because I've done so much inner work now to understand peace, to build peace in my home, in my surroundings. And so when something is embellishing itself as peace when it really isn't, I sense it. It almost like puts my alarm on. Like it's like someone comes and pushes a red button of like alarm, like evacuate, this is wrong, something is wrong, this is like your childhood, something is off, run. Okay, that's how it feels like to me in the absence of peace, because I've known what the absence of peace is. I've worked myself out of it, or I'm trying to continuously work myself out of it. And then when I'm being reintroduced to it, I feel like alarm, something is wrong, something is wrong. And again, if you've never experienced that, I'm so happy that you didn't. Like, if you've never experienced chaos, I'm glad that you didn't. But find a way to read about it or familiarize yourself about it in some way or shape or form. I wrote here actually a good example. I wrote that doctors don't need to have a disease in order to treat it. So you don't have to go through chaos in order to understand chaos, but the doctors either learn about it or see other patients who are talk to other doctors who've had patients who have experienced this. Even lawyers, like recently, I have an immigration lawyer because I'm not a US citizen. So my lawyer, I remember I was telling them about my case, and they told me, hey, this is a really special case. I'm not familiar with it, so I'm gonna actually go and talk to one of my colleagues who's very experienced with cases that are special like this. Okay, and then he came and helped me, and in a way that gave good results. Okay, so you don't have to experience chaos or something bad to understand it, but you do have to read about it or find a source to understand it, or to see it, at least to see it outside of you, in order to understand the contrast of it. And point number 3 is abstain. Okay, I'm not here to tell anyone what to do with their bodies. Okay, I'm not, and I don't want this to be like, oh my god, abstain for marriage. We're not perfect. Some of us have complex relationships. This is a femininity channel. I think anything that is complex or complicated is not going to help your femininity at all. I'm going to be completely honest. But I also do understand that the world is not just black and white. So some things have some things require more understanding. Okay, I'm not here to judge any situation. But point number 3 is abstain. And I wrote here, abstain from giving away your body. And your body is the most important thing you have. Okay, a lot of time people can say, oh, I want your body, but I don't only want your body, I want your heart. You have a good personality, I want to be a part of your good personality, your good heart, your kindness, and so on and forth. All of those things are in your body. Okay, your heart is inside of your body, both figuratively and literally. Your soul is in your body. Your spirit is inside of your body. Okay, so when someone comes and disguises like, oh, I want you, not just your body, understand that they're saying the same thing. They want your body. There's nothing wrong with that. Being physical and intimate is a normal human being desire, but you do have to understand who you're giving it to and at what cost to you. Okay, and what is it costing you to give this person your body? So I don't want to go too much off topic here, but I wrote again, your spirit, your brain, your heart, your personality are all inside of your body. And yes, your body is the most important thing you have. Without a body, you become a spirit. And a spirit without a body is dead in this realm. Okay, not maybe anywhere else in the ether, but in this human experience we're having, without a body, you are dead. So when someone wants your body to go inside of you, yes, they're asking you for something that is a big deal. Don't let anyone diminish the severity or the magnitude of what it is they're asking you when they're asking you to enter something. The only thing that you have to keep you in this world, to keep you in this realm. Just understand that. I won't go too deep, okay? Unless you have proven to be fully and mainly safe and secure with whomever you're deciding to share it with, think about sharing it with them. Okay? So for me, I think as a feminine woman, if I can't feel safe, if I have to worry about my livelihood, worry about food, the shelter that I'm gonna provide this body, I can't let anyone else invade it or let anybody else come inside of it if they can't take care of it fully for me, especially as a man who is supposed to provide and protect me and keep me safe. Forgive me, that's just not what we're doing, okay? I'm not actually, don't forgive me. I said what I said. I'm not sorry. Okay, so again, define safety. So to different people, safety would mean different things. Not everyone grew up unstable. Some people have an abundance of money, physically and figuratively, right? So they might not say, oh my God, before I sleep with someone, they have to be able to take care of me, because they don't know what it's like to experience that kind of lack, which is great. I'm so happy for them, right? Some people might say that I need to be married, and that is great. That's amazing for me too, But again, safety means different things to different people. You define what safety means to you, and you don't feel any apology, any remorse of what that definition is to you, okay? And why I'm saying this is you cannot have peace without some sense of security or safety. So once you define what safety means to you, then you start to proceed what your idea of peace is as it relates to that safety. Someone can come to you and say, oh, Ashe, soft life, peaceful, let's, burn some sage, let's just have a soft friendship or whatever, and you feel unsafe around them. That doesn't make sense. So I talk about safety, and there's a reason why I talk about it. It doesn't feel direct right away, but I put this in a point. I put number 2 as a point in abstaining until you are safe, into whoever is trying to enter your life, enter your home, enter your body, because you cannot observe peace and understand it if whatever or whomever is inside of you is not giving it to you. You are less likely to be able to observe something that is either on you or inside of you. Okay? I'll give you an example. If you have a mole on your back, yes, you can take a photo of it and observe it, but you cannot fully understand and see what that mole is, because you don't have direct access to it from outside of you. So even worse, if you have something inside of you, like, I don't mean to be like, how can I say? Like, I don't mean to be immodest, not modest here. But when a person is entering you through intimacy, you cannot read them any longer. There's like a shield. There's like rose-colored glasses that just embody you now. They become part of you. So you can't read them. You can't see them coming from miles away anymore. Why? Because they're inside of you now. Okay? So if you haven't taken measures to ensure your safety, to ensure whether they're good for you or not, well, it's too late if they're inside of you. It's too late, my darlings. And you might be fully well able to. I don't want to put my limiting beliefs on anyone. You might fully be able to observe something from that is within you, that is going inside of you, while it's inside of you. But it really requires true attunement with yourself. I'm not saying it's 100% impossible, but it just requires more energy. And as a feminine being, do you want to be wasting your amazing life source energy getting attunement just to predict someone coming, when you could just avoid it all by ensuring a platform of safety before they enter you? whether it is a romantic person, a friendship, or whatever. Would you rather see the robbers coming, the perpetrators, whoever's going to come attack you? Would you rather be able to see them running towards you, or would you rather be sleeping in your bed in the middle of the night and realize that they're right in front of you in your house? Which one would you rather? Yes, maybe you can defend yourself. Maybe you have something under your pillow that can protect you against them. But I would rather see them, look out my balcony and see someone who's coming into my house, into my apartment, than wake up in the middle of the night in bed with them right next to me. That's my preference. Not everyone is like me. I understand that. And I have a theory about this. I truly believe that when God, or if you don't believe in God, creator, or what do you call it? I believe in science, but I also believe in God. I'm a science girly, but I do believe in God. But I think that whoever created us, God in my case, or through evolution or whatever, our creator didn't create us having in mind that we were going to cause ourselves danger unless we were infected by this danger. And the only thing that can infect you is what's going inside of you. Even think of a virus. A virus can hurt you when it's outside of you. The virus can only hurt you when it has infected you, when it is inside of you. So that's why I talk about abstaining. You cannot figure out whether something or someone is a virus to infect you, to hurt you, when they're already inside of you. It's too late. They're already inside of you. Now you need to seek treatment. As opposed to if you see that virus infecting someone else, or you see it from afar outside of you, you can be like, oh, okay, that's what it is. Okay, let me take immunity shots or prevent it in any way that you can. That's what I mean, okay? And point number 4 is peace is not dirty or messy. I mean this in a literal sense, or also in a figurative sense. Nature has dirt, but it is not dirty. I have never seen anything that is truly natural that was dirty. Now, of course, there's dirt outside, grass and whatever, but I've never seen nature in its pure essence without humans or things that came and made it dirty. I've never seen nature in its natural essence dirty. Okay, so why do I say that? No one at peace is surrounded by clutter. Okay, no one at peace is surrounded by clutter, mess, or uncleanliness. Okay, but I have never personally experienced anything that is peaceful, that is messy, dirty, unclean, and chaotic, ever. So again, no one is at peace if, especially where they sleep, where they eat, and where they use the bathroom is messy. I don't believe it. You can put all the sage you want, do all the sound baths you want. I don't believe you are at peace if those things are unclean and messy. Okay, they say cleanliness is next to godliness, and I truly like to believe God is peace. God is peace for me. I can't imagine God accepting dirtiness and uncleanliness. It literally says in the Bible, cleanliness is next to godliness. So even God doesn't like messiness. Okay, messiness, dirt, or whatever does not coexist with peace. It's almost impossible. Again, here I could be wrong, but I doubt it. I can tell a lot about a man based on where he sleeps, where he lives, and where he eats. Okay, I can also tell a lot about a job based on their employee's bathroom. That's all I need to see. If I go to an interview, or if I have a job, I travel for work, so my work dynamic is a little bit differently. But if I'm stationed somewhere, I can really tell about a profession or a professional place based on what the bathroom looks like. I don't know, it's just weird. Maybe I'm peculiar, but it's always been accurate for me. And I also want to say being obsessive is similar to messiness. So yes, if you are clean, but like something is clean in your house, for example, but you like take the tissue, you wipe it down, and you're like, oh my God, is this clean? You're like looking away, like, I think that is as chaotic and as messy as being unclean. Okay, so again, when I say clean or not chaotic, I don't mean necessarily like a clean environment. I do mean that, but I don't mean that only. I also mean in your mind, something that is clutterless, clutter free. Okay, peace is not clutterful. Okay, so if I'm like watching a YouTube video, or I'm watching a teacher learning something and they are chaotic, they're not clean, they're not eating in a clean place, maybe they can teach me something about like mechanics or physics, or I don't know, math or something, but it's very, even then it's very difficult for me to believe someone or learn peace from them when they're coming from a messy and chaotic environment. So when something or someone approaches you and they are chaotic and messy and they're teaching or preaching peace, I would take a second look. I would look a little bit deeper, and I would be very careful on what it is they're telling you, because I really don't believe being at peace, being peaceful, can be under the same roof as being cluttersome. I don't believe it. And point number 5 is peace is not secretive. Okay, and this is not only in dating, but peace overall is not a secretive thing. Someone can't be like, you ever gone to a pyramid scheme or something when they're like, oh, I have this really nice car, and I can show you how you can make that money to get it too. And then you're like, oh, really? That sounds like a good idea. How? And they're like, you know what? I'm going to invite you to a meeting, and I can only tell you this at a meeting. If you go to that meeting, please proceed with caution. And then let's say, I've done this before. This is bad, but I don't know. I've been a curious person all my life. So you go to the meeting, and they're like, yeah, the leader or the boss, no one knows who he is. He might be amongst us, but we don't know, or like, okay, this is how you make money, but start with here first before I tell you the rest. Of course, it is natural to conceal and self-preserve, right? So of course, peace is not just going and telling its secret everywhere and shouting to the top of their lungs. But I really believe that peace does not bait and switch you. Peace doesn't dangle a carrot in front of you and say, you have to come closer before I show you the rest. I don't think that's what peace does. So if someone is like, oh my God, you should, sleep with me before I can treat you and provide for you and take care of you, that is being secretive. How can they provide and take care of you if they are not showing you that blatantly in the courting stages? Okay, or if a job is like, you know what, I really need you to work this much hours before I can tell you how much you're gonna get paid. How would I know that you have the money if I have to do the work first before you come up with the money? You know what I mean? Or if a friend is like, I really need you to show up to this party before I tell you what type of party it is. Or you know what, I can't tell you the address, but unless this is a surprise, a pleasant surprise from someone you know and trust. If someone's like, oh, I want to take you to this party, I can't really tell you the address, but take this left here, take a left here, I'll direct you, but I can't tell you the address, I would be very careful on how to proceed further. Imagine someone telling you, oh my God, I'm gonna give you a cookie, and maybe you trust them enough to eat the cookie. You're like, this cookie is delicious, what is inside of it? And they're like, oh, it's a secret, it's just a secret, don't worry about it. And you're like, oh, I just want to know I don't want to know your secret recipe, but I just want to know what's inside of it, just so I know if I can consume this, if I'm allergic to anything. And they're like, oh, no, don't worry about it. That's odd. That's not peaceful. Okay, the final point of this video is true peace does not intrude. Okay, whenever there is pressure, God is not in it. I don't know, I heard this in church or from a pastor. I can't remember if I heard it from like a pastor online or at church or both. I don't know, but wherever there is pressure, God is not in it. I believe that God is peace. Okay, And if there is pressure and God is not in it, then if God is peace, then if there is pressure, then peace is not in it. That's truly what I believe. So true peace does not force itself upon you, okay? True peace is not going to force information on you and pressure you to follow it or do it. True peace is not going to force themselves on you, God forbid. Anything that is peaceful is not intrusive, okay? Peace just likes to mind its business and be in its corner. If you want to join, come join within the limits of peace, and that's it, okay? Of course, a peaceful person or a peaceful experience or a peaceful experience or entity and so on and forth, of course something that is peaceful wants to bring you within that or is passionate, but there is a difference between passion and a true intrusion. Peace is not intrusive. So anyone who's like saying, oh, I'm so peaceful, let me join you, let me get into your peaceful life, let me in, then they're not peaceful. That's a little bit scary even, right? They're not peaceful at all. So true peace does not intrude. A truly peaceful person will never come to you and say, you need to do this. Okay? If peace is truly peaceful, it's going to be like, hey, this is the right way, but if you don't agree, maybe do your research a little bit first, and I'll be here with love. Okay, so anyway, thank you all for watching this video. I'm so happy that you took time to watch the video. I know there are lots of different content creators out there, but I appreciate you taking time to listen to me and so on and forth. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. Comment in the comment section below and let me know how you're able to see through the lines of a fake peaceful person or someone faking peace in order to get closer to you. What methods do you use to see between those lines, or what methods do you use to also keep your peace overall? Anyway, thank you all for watching. It would help me a lot if you like, subscribe, and comment below in the videos or even on my other videos. That would really mean a lot to me. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you and for your time. Thank you for watching The Feminine Takeoff. Let's take off to better ourselves, and let's take off to be the best version of ourselves. Thank you for watching. Mwah.